Canada is absolutely furious at Donald Trump and his regime, but Canada's kind of over it at this point. Canada knows how to put Donald Trump into checkmate. Think about the pain that Canada is inflicting on American products, on American tourism. Now, Canada convened a First Ministers meeting in Ottawa the other day, led by Prime Minister Carney. You had all the various premiers from the various provinces there, Conservatives, Liberals, NDP premiers, all united together, mostly all united. Daniel Smith, Alberta, a little questionable right there, probably more than questionable, but united in how to strike back and checkmate the United States. Prime Minister Carney talked about how Canada is strong. Here, play this clip.
Look, Canada's strong. We can give ourselves far more than anyone can take away. We're building this great country. I just met with the Premier, building BC, building Canada, building in a Canadian way, building sustainably, building together, building positively, and that's what we're going to do. And yes, we'll come to something with the Americans, something constructive with the Americans. Thanks very much, Michelle.
At the same time that First Minister meeting in Ottawa was taking place, you had Prime Minister Carney sending his top ministers, his foreign minister, his finance minister, to meet with President Claudia Sheinbaum of Mexico, strengthening the trade and other relationships between Canada and Mexico as the United States engages in its trade war against the world. Very productive meetings there. You have Doug Ford going on CNN yesterday. He's the premier of Ontario, a conservative premier, but very supportive of Prime Minister Carney. In fact, Doug Ford, who used to be supportive of Donald Trump during Trump's first administration, has talked about Canada getting more aggressive and fighting back dollar for dollar, tariff for tariff against the Trump regime. And I think the only thing holding Prime Minister Carney back on that is I think Carney recognizes that the tourism boycott and products boycott by Canada is inflicting so much pain on the United States right now. Going tariff for tariff is just going to be an additional tax on Canadians. But here's what Doug Ford had to say, that Donald Trump is the most hated politician in the world for Canadians. Canadians hate Donald Trump more than any political figure out there in the entire world. Here, play this clip.
What's the general impression of Trump in Canada?
He's probably the most disliked politician in the world in Canada because he's attacked his closest family member, and that's the way we look upon it. And when I talk to the governors and senators and Congress people, even Republicans totally disagree, but they're too scared to come out and say anything because the president will go after them. Outside of a few senators, and I want to thank them for coming out and standing with not just American people, but their closest friends and allies, which is Canada. And again, we love the Americans. It's unfortunate President Trump decided to go down this road.
Now here's the Premier of Ontario, Doug Ford, once again. From that interview, play this clip.
And we're lowering taxes. We're making sure we're competitive for companies to come and invest in Canada. Ontario alone last year attracted over $40 billion of investment, creating more jobs, more opportunities. I would much rather, work with our greatest ally and closest friend and increase jobs in both countries, and we can do that. We'd be the two strongest nations in the world economically. That's our goal, but unfortunately, President Trump doesn't want to go down that avenue. He wants to hurt the American people, and that's exactly what he's doing.
This was him leaving the First Minister meeting in Ottawa. And he makes a great point here. He goes, one of the things that was clear during this meeting that all the premiers agreed to and Prime Minister Carney agreed to is no deal is better than a bad deal. No deal is better than a fake deal. Canada proud, Canada strong, elbows up. Here's Doug Ford. Play this clip.
Did the Prime Minister say to you when he was going to be speaking with Mr. Trump, or is there any indication of next steps?
No, he didn't say that he was going to be speaking to President Trump, but I'm sure he will be over the next few days. We also mentioned no deal's better than a bad deal. We don't want to get sucked in. But I just want to go on record, like I did when this whole thing started. I said the tariffs are coming, and they came all right. My next message is fasten our seatbelt. Kuzma, or USMCA, whatever you want to call it, he's coming at us hard. He is going to come at us with everything he has, and we have to make sure that we're ready. We have to make sure that we onshore as many products as possible. We need to make sure that we put money back into people's pockets until they can stimulate the economy and companies to attract more business and invest into their people, into their equipment, into the technology. These are some simple things we can do. The construction sector is very, very slow right now. Let's work with the municipalities like Mayor Del Duca, that's cutting the DC charges. It's $200 a square foot just on taxes alone before they get shovels in the ground. It's ridiculous. So we all need to pitch in.
And here Doug Ford is again talking about how, look, at the end of the day, provinces are going to obviously have biases in favor of their own industry. He goes, but we're like 98% united on all of this stuff. But of course, there's going to be some industry sector stuff. But Canada's united. Canada's strong. Here, play this clip.
Well, I think we're all on the same page, but everyone wants to protect their sector. Alberta wants to protect their oil sector. I want to protect the auto and the steel sector. Quebec wants to protect their aluminum sector. But if that's fine if everyone has their differences. But I'll tell you, like 98% of the stuff we all agree on that we have to get moving. So that's a good thing. But we got to move quicker, and folks, be ready. This is coming. I don't even think it's my personal opinion. He's not waiting till 2026. At any given time, President Trump, not that he even follows the rules, he could pull the carpet out from underneath us on Kuzma tomorrow with one signature. So let's be prepared. I think it'll be coming in November, in my opinion. But let's start getting ready, and we're doing it.
And here's Prime Minister Carney again talking about the tangible steps that he's doing to build Canada, to protect Canada. Here, listen to this. Let's play this clip.
I spent that meeting talking about building our country. Earlier this week, we were in Kelowna, talking about building and pivoting and building the competitiveness of our forest product sector. We're going to spend tomorrow with Canadian Armed Forces, building security and defense. There is so much for us to do, and we're very focused on doing all of that. Focusing on what we can control. And yes, we're having discussions with the Americans, but Canadians want us to focus here at home, build out at home, and that's what we're doing.
Now, I want to show you this right here. This is from Global News. This is how they talked about the First Minister meeting. Let's play this clip right here.
When can we expect tariffs to change, sir? While publicly quiet on the trade war, the Prime Minister privately updating his cabinet and the premiers.
I'm 100% supportive of the Prime Minister and the federal government. He's a brilliant businessman.
Ontario Conservative Premier Doug Ford has been Mark Carney's biggest booster, but he's been an outspoken critic on the need to hit back against Donald Trump.
I still stand by what I say, dollar for dollar, tariff for tariff. They understand strength, not weakness.
In a recent Angus Reid poll, 59% of Canadians supported Ford's call for more tariffs, which have brought in $2.4 billion in revenue for Ottawa in April and May alone.
And now let's talk about this trip that was taken by the top ministers, finance minister, foreign minister of Canada to Mexico. Canadian ministers had a very productive Mexico meeting regarding all things trade and strengthening their relationships. They met with Claudia Sheinbaum, how these nations navigate Donald Trump's hostile tariff environment and trade war against the world. Canadian's foreign minister put in a post about strengthening and reaffirming the bilateral ties. Quote, these discussions with the president and members of her government advance key shared priorities in terms of economic growth, security, and trade diversification. Now, you will recall that Canada also built or entered into a real deal with the European Union for a defense pact there. Canada looking increasingly to weapons made in Europe versus those made in the United States. and the foreign minister of Canada, along with President Claudia Sheinbaum, agreed to create a plan to deepen cooperation on a variety of bilateral issues during the trip, including resilient supply chains, port-to-port lines of trade, artificial intelligence, and energy security. By the way, here's David Eby. David Eby's the NDP premier of British Columbia. So you have everyone from kind of the further left, NDP, the center-left Liberal Party, the right-wing Conservative, it's more center-right-wing Conservative Party, united together, Canada strong. Here's Eby. Let's play it.
Now, if you wanted to design in a lab a project that reflected the values of British Columbians and Canadians, a project that really showed the path forward of how, in this moment, we're going to ensure that we are strong and standing together and building an economy and doing it in a way that is responsible, in a way that Canadians can be proud of, I think you would have to choose the Cedar LNG project. This project is exceptional on so many levels. First of all, that it is Indigenous-led and majority-owned. This is the largest Indigenous-owned energy project in North America. Second, that it's being done in an environmentally responsible way, that from the plant itself, with minimal impact on the land, to the fact that the plant will be electrified to ensure that this is some of the lowest carbon LNG in the world, displacing high carbon LNG from less responsible jurisdictions, to the fact that it enables us to access markets other than the United States for resources, getting more value for all British Columbians.
Now, finally, our friend, leader of the resistance in Canada, the Resistance Tour, former member of Parliament Charlie Angus, was a speaker at the conference that was being held there between Canada, Central America, South America, and others. And Angus talked about a international boycott of the Trump gangster regime following the model in Canada. Here's Angus. Let's play it.
Long before America came to the war, Canadians were fighting fascists. So when you tell us that we don't have a right to a nation, when you kidnap our people off the streets and put them in concentration camps, as they're doing to your people, then we know what we're confronting. We're confronting gangster fascism.
Well, there you have it, folks. Canada strong, Canada proud, Canada checkmating the United States, and they're not afraid to stand up to the gangster regime of Donald Trump. Let me know what you think. Hit subscribe. Let's get to 6 million subscribers together. Thanks for watching.
Can't get enough Meidas? Check out the Meidas Plus Substack for ad-free articles, reports, podcasts, daily recaps from Ron Filipkowski, and more. Sign up for free now at MeidasPlus.com.